heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here. And when we are gone from here, our friends will be drinking our beer.
Hello, wonderful listeners, and welcome to Boomy and the Ham, the podcast where our sports conversations will make you feel like you are losing brain cells. I'm Ham, your host, and I'm thrilled to have you join us for another amazing episode of Boomy and the Ham. And here we go. What is going on, listeners? This is the Ham, and I am joined by my gracious co-host once again every week, Mr. Boomy. He's kind of sad right now, but we'll get
An understatement.
yeah, we'll get to that as we recap our NFL games. So we're gonna recap some playoff baseball. We're gonna talk about some other sports news with NBA, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about the NFL, and that's gonna probably take up a majority of our time. So playoff baseball. What were you thinking after game one against the Dodgers? Were you like, yeah, this is over? Like we've kind of fizzled out, or what were your thoughts?
So my initial thought when I saw this, when I peeked in on the score and it was, I think I saw it at like 7-0 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this is just one of those games where, the Dodgers were just ready. And I mean, they got a lot of firepower, so it's hard.
So you weren't pretty like, oh, okay, this like we're done.
No, it's 7 games, dude. Baseball is fucking crazy. I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree. I just didn't,
all the Mets have to do is steal one on the road, and
which they did, right? Tonight.
and they did. They
Yeah,
won. They won tonight.
Because now it goes 3 in New York, correct?
I believe it goes 2-1 and
Okay.
it's 2-2, 1-1, 1-1. I think they changed it back.
But stealing one in LA definitely hurts for sure because it's 2-1. But if you win both at home, you're pushing them up against the wall, right? Like it's
exactly. They got to win Game 5 or they're out.
And then
you're putting the pressure all on them.
Yeah, and they have to steal one at your home, regardless of the outcome. So
I wasn't too worried it was going to be that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought the Mets would put up a little bit of a fight, but I mean that's the beauty of baseball. It's a 7-game series. Yeah, they just didn't have it that day. So, but they came back. They won 7-3. I mean, Lindor homers again. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting series. I might want to watch these guys more than I want to watch the fucking goddamn Jets.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it was a rough one. But like I said, we'll get into it. We're just kind of teasing the listeners with the little gripes and bitches.
Oh yeah.
Every chance you get.
I mean, either way, it's going to be great series across the board too.
Yeah,
all 4 series or both series are going to be great.
Yeah, and like, so I have the Yankees winning, and I think I said this on either the last podcast or the one before. I really want to see a Mets Yankees because I just want to see New York like crumble from within.
Oh yeah,
there's gonna be riots regardless of who wins. There's gonna be crazy fight. Like I just want to see it for the social media because like people are going to lose their minds, and there is going to be amazing fights that come out of it, and I just think it will be freaking awesome to watch.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a chaotic kind of situation. I mean, it hasn't happened. It happened once. It was 2000.
Yeah,
and
then
the Yankees beat the fucking Subway Series, and they beat the shit out of the Mets, and I mean, it'd be really great for New York to get a championship. Obviously Mets haven't got one in a while. Yankees haven't got one in a while.
I will say I am rooting more for you guys. I would rather see the Mets win it than the fucking Yankees.
Oh yeah, I mean Yankees got 29 or whatever they have now. It's like I just want to see one. I just want to see one. For
Mhm.
all four of my big four teams, I just want to see one. That's all. That's all a man could want in his life. Is like it's just one championship. Fucking big four teams. That's all a man wants. That's all a
Yeah.
man wants.
Um. So I guess that kind of covers our baseball talk. Not really much to talk about with two games. Um. So you said you also have Mets Yankees going, or would
Um,
like to go.
I actually had Mets in Cleveland because I mean Cleveland's been great all year.
Mhm.
Yankees are. I'm still not sold on the Yankees. I mean they are good. Obviously they made it this far, but I like Cleveland. Cleveland's been great all year.
Mhm.
I think I would like to see a Cleveland Mets series, but honestly, they're all big markets for baseball. So whichever two of the four make it will definitely make for a pretty good World Series. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
yeah,
agree.
um,
I
but
think
I got Cleveland Mets.
okay. I think I think that I mean I don't I can I agree. I think that both series are going to be really good. Um, like I said, I want Mets Yankees, but if I had to have a second, I would want Yankees Dodgers.
Oh yeah,
And the only reason why is just because those fan bases hate each other,
yep,
and then seeing the Cowboys fans also have to get pit against each other during that time, it would
yeah, that's
be
true.
it would make for some good comedy. So yeah, I think those are my two hopefuls. The Guardians, I'm like, kind of not crazy big market, and also like I don't think anything's gonna come out of that. It's not like I think if it was like, you know, maybe if they I don't even know who Cleveland's rival is or like who they hate. Maybe
I would.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cincinnati probably would be my guess because they're both Ohio,
Yeah,
Cleveland and
yeah.
Cincinnati.
Maybe Milwaukee, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean you could probably go in their division too because they play them so often. You can probably go Royals, you can go Tigers. I mean, any one of those. Oh, Twins too. I mean, any one of those, you're probably gonna have some rivalry. I mean, they play each other enough, much like the Mets and the Phillies and Braves and
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah. Um okay. Well, we can I guess we could shift over college football. This weekend was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, I didn't get
Um
a chance to watch a lot of them, but I caught some of it,
oh
and
yeah, it was
oh boy,
yeah, it was great. Ashton Johnson still out there killing it, still being the best player in the country. Um I had to go on um social media on like Facebook and Twitter and put my white knight costume on because I was starting to see a little bit of Ashton Jaunty slander. Um but I corrected it pretty quick and I think we're okay now. I think we're okay.
what was
Um
some of the slander?
well, so people are just saying that he's playing against like D2 teams and like, he's not really playing real competition and yada yada yada. Um I think that's fucking bullshit because once again you play who's in your conference and at the end of the fucking day too, um people don't realize, or I guess people have short-term memory. The dude put up fucking what was it, 250 yards and three touchdowns against Oregon. Pretty sure Oregon's the number 2 team in the fucking nation right now, but correct me if I'm wrong. So,
They were three going into the Ohio State game, and they
and they
beat
won,
them.
yeah. So
So
they're number 2. So
by default, that would be number two.
I think I'm right on that. So um yeah, I just think that it's funny that he's getting hate, and also I had to kind of bring some facts to the table and be like, well, Ashton Jaunty also hasn't played a whole other game that every other college player has played because he sat out the back half of Utah State and he sat out the back half of Portland State. So realistically, all these other guys have a whole game on him, and he's still the rushing leader, and he's still on pace to break the record.
Yeah,
So,
I can kind of see where these haters are possibly getting it. Like this, we're playing scrubs because I mean they're not playing in the S. He's not playing in the SEC. He's not playing in the Big Ten. So I kind of, to some degree, there is a hint of, probably truth to that. But the guy's still putting up absurd numbers, and he did play Oregon. I don't know what the rest of their schedule
and
was,
he
but I
and they
mean,
played Washington State. Like I think
yeah, like
people
they're not playing the top, the cream of the
no,
crop, as
no.
as the wise man once said.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's still putting up absolutely absurd numbers.
Yeah, and I'm
So
pretty
you
sure
you you, you
people
can't deny that.
yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure people like even said that if Washington State beat us, they would have been ranked because at that time they were undefeated.
Yeah, I
So,
mean Washington State's a decent program. Like they're
yeah,
not
it's
great by any stretch of
no,
imagination. They're
but,
decent.
but didn't they beat Washington, who then beat Michigan? Like I'm not gonna sit here and be
I believe
like,
so.
yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, freaking, you know, the Mountain West is fucking, Big 18 or Big 10 or whatever the hell it's called now. But at the end of the day, they're playing decent teams. Like we play Oregon State here very soon as well. And so like that's gonna probably be our last challenge. But as of right now, I think if BSU wins out, we play we I think we're seeded number 4 in the playoffs because of the
Um,
and
what conference are they technically part of? I don't
we're in the
remember.
Mountain West.
So the conference winners would be either Big Ten, SEC.
hmm So
I
Boise State would
mean,
be number 12. Iowa State, and I think it's like the ACC or like something like that, like the ACC or Notre Dame. If like one of those teams in that conference or like Notre Dame or somebody loses again, Boise State would then be the number 4 seed in the playoff bracket. But as it
I
stands
think
right
it,
now,
I think it would have to be the ACC because they would be up against the other conference winner
mhm,
to get that 4 seed.
yeah,
So it's pretty much going to be the best 4 conference team champions basically are going to be the top 4 seeds.
yeah,
So that's why everyone was saying Notre Dame is smart to stay independent because if they, theoretically go undefeated in a season, they'll automatically get the 5 seed and they'll be playing the worst of the top uh whatchamacallit, conference champions. So they'd have a better chance than obviously being a lower seed and going up against like a SEC champion or a Big Ten champion, and they'd be playing either a Mountain West or an ACC every year. So
mhm,
yeah, pretty sure it's just a matter of whatever conference champion is better. And you know damn well it's going to be the top three. It's going to be Big Ten, Big 12, and SEC is probably going to be the top three.
So basically, based
Uh,
off my simulation that I just in this on ESPN, um, what would happen if BSU wins out and wins the conference championship? Boise State would be ranked number 4. We would then play the winner of Oregon versus Army.
can you imagine the first time they go to this 12-team thing? I think who was saying? I think it was one of the college game days. They were saying there's a possibility that Army Navy plays for their conference championship.
Yes.
Then they play
Mhm.
the Army Navy game,
Mhm.
and they could play each other like back to back. And like if they split, they could both theoretically be in the college playoff.
Yep.
That is utterly insane. That the first time it goes to 12, you get a team like Army and Navy
Yeah.
in this game.
That would be
Well,
crazy.
while everyone was predicting like 3-loss
Yep.
SEC teams getting in,
Yep.
and Army and Navy get in, that would
Yeah.
be insane.
That would be insane. And then I just ran another quick sim, and if we win and lose to Oregon State, and then we won the conference championship, we would be the number 12. So I think pretty much as long as we don't lose 2 games, we're in. And our first game would be against Oregon, which I don't. They're rolling right now, so I really don't want to see Oregon in the first game. But
Yeah, I wouldn't.
yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I think I think I think BSU will I think BSU will do good. If we could get the 4 seed, that'd be awesome. Cause I even if we lose the next game, being able to play um like an Alabama or a Texas or an Oregon would be pretty freaking cool for the program because we don't get to play those kind of teams that often. So I know in 25, I think we bid to go play Notre Dame. So um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Ashley Jaunty, he just stands there menacingly in the backfield all the time, just menacingly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's gonna be fucking awesome. I can't wait to see. I'm excited for his future. I think he is going to be a top 10 draft pick.
I mean, yeah,
If
at this point he has to be,
yeah,
no?
if not top 5, and I think if he wins the Heisman, he'll be a top 5 because I think he runs like a mixture of like Marshawn Lynch and Alvin Kamara to me, right? He has all the power of Marshawn Lynch, but he is like so graceful when he runs. Like he is so balanced and he gets
Mm-hmm.
hit and it's like not a problem, you know? And so
Yeah, I got you.
so yeah. Um all right, now let's get to the what I'm just smiling ear to ear because this week was for football was fucking awesome. For me at least. So I will start off. We talked about this a little earlier. I picked all 14 games correctly this week, and I was off with my score by 2 points for the Bills Jets game, and I won a little bit of pocket cash. So I'm pretty fucking excited. Um, and we can start with uh the first game that was this weekend, Bears Jaguars. Um, the Bears are fucking awesome.
Yeah, I
And I
mean,
don't want to get ahead of myself, and I talked to Jesse about this today. I think Jesse's
yep.
gonna join us on the next pod, next week. But if the Bears, so we go into our bye week, then we play the Commanders, Cardinals, and then Patriots. If we win those next 3 games, I'm gonna start being very outlandish.
Yeah, yeah.
I am going to be a crazy, crazy boy. Because at that point, I think if you're 7-2, you pretty much have about a 90% chance to make the playoffs. And if Caleb Williams' first year in this program takes us to the playoffs, I will be very happy. And the only other thing I'm really hoping is we trade for a big name at the trade deadline because, like I said earlier, we kind of had an argument about this. There are going to be teams that are selling. The Jaguars, the Panthers are probably still selling because they have no idea how to run that organization. The Browns, the Raiders are all teams that are probably going to be selling. And as we get closer to that trade deadline, more teams are going to be like, yep, we're going to have to chalk this year up as a L. Let's start looking towards the draft. Let's try to get as much capital on expiring contracts that we can. So, I could see the Colts and the Titans and the Patriots and the Cardinals all being teams that are like, yep, we have no fucking shot at making this shit. Let's sell while we can. And so, what I would like to see in that situation for the Bears is I would love to see a defensive tackle, probably number 3. I would like to see an edge rusher, number 2 priority, and I would love to see a center as the number 1 priority. I think those are our 3 biggest needs. And if we fill 2 of those before the trade deadline, I would be very, very happy because then that's my indication that we're all in. And I could probably start looking at playoff tickets.
Yeah. So I mean, we did have this conversation, but pulling a center is probably going to be a little harder than probably most, unless there's a backup somewhere that is like capable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but definitely the D line is open. I mean, for God's sakes, the Jets have had one since what was it, March? They've had one available to be fucking traded, and the dude still hasn't showed up. So yeah, you could always go for Hassan Reddick and have him hold out on you guys too. That'd be cool.
I
But yeah,
would you
getting a
would
D line.
you would you take a third for Hassan Reddick right now?
Absolutely, I would take. Yeah, like ideally, I would like a third. Would be like a
You guys
fair.
traded a third, didn't you?
I think it was a third. I think it was a third, and then maybe we swapped later picks. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there might have been an extra pick in there, but if we get a third back, I'm okay with that. At this
Yeah.
point, like give me fucking anything. Either be on the field or go. Like I'm tired of this bullshit with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who he thinks he is. Like, oh, he's got 10 sacks every year. Like that's great, but you're not like a premier rusher, dude. You're a
Yeah.
good player,
Yeah.
and like
Mm-hmm.
you deserve your fair share of money, but
I'm
you're
pretty
not
sure when
getting
we got Robert Quinn from the Eagles, he was like 57 years old, and he also averaged like 10 sacks a game, and we got him, and I was like, he broke our record, but then after that season, he like kind of was ass for the rest of his time.
Yeah. I mean, Hassan Reddick is still young, so it's like he's still could be a good rusher, but he's not going to get that money, and that's the problem. Is the Jets have way other needs to fill that Hassan Reddick would just be a whole other you know
Mm-hmm.
hour of my life that I don't really want to get into. But yeah, I was like for you guys. I mean, yeah, if you guys can add a
Oh
pass
wow!
rusher, maybe
As
an
of 3 hours
contract.
ago, Hassan Reddick hired a new agent and wants to end his holdout.
Oh yeah, probably because he lost fucking
$10
five
million.
million dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say $5 to $10 million, and obviously his agent ain't getting it done. So maybe he comes back for a 3-year deal, or and gets a fair 15 million or whatever the hell the average. I mean, what Bosa's the highest right now, I think, for
Yeah,
rushers.
he's like 15 to 16.
Yeah, I mean, if the Jets give him 10 million a year, I mean, if they can afford it.
Because like this is, and also too, like what's kind of frustrating is you guys are 2-4 now, but like 2 or 3 of these games, I feel like Hassan Reddick would have like changed the outcome of the game.
He wouldn't have like won us games, but he
This one
definitely
though,
would have.
like when it's this
They can stop the
close,
run. I mean, Hassan Reddick's not going to stop the run.
yeah, I don't know.
The only thing is maybe he would have been able to get to Allen on some of the ones where he
That's what I'm
scrambled.
talking about, right? Well, like containing
Then
Allen.
yeah, he might have been a little better at Allen, and then maybe the Jets would have pulled that out. But he would be an impact, but I don't know if it would be enough to stop the Jets from making stupid penalties and losing games.
Yeah, that
That would
game
that
that
would be
game
my
was very frustrating the whole
been
time.
forced for like all three of their losses in the last 3 weeks have been all because of penalties.
Well, and missed field goals. But we'll get that in a little bit. We're foreshadowing stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
okay. Buccaneers at Saints. That was an awesome game for the first half. And then the Buccaneers were like, "Oh yeah, we're playing with our food," and then just ran away with it.
yeah. I mean, dude, the Bucks are one of those teams that I think everyone sleeps on. Because of that stupid loss to the Broncos.
The
You know,
Bucks, the Bucks are 4-2. The Bucks are making the playoffs. They're going out of the
no, I know,
NFC South. They're fucking
no,
awesome.
I know, but I don't think anybody's like really giving them a shot to
Yeah,
like go far. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because they play in the South. The South's a pretty weak division for the most
yeah.
part. I mean, obviously they got a little better,
And it
but
has
I
been because
mean,
they have the Saints, the Bucks, the Falcons, and Panthers, and yeah, it is a weak. It's been a weak division for quite
yeah,
some time.
yeah. So I mean, the Bucks are good. I mean, Baker's got the offense going. The defense is playing okay. My only concern is their defense being banged up with Vita Vea getting hurt for that little bit, and I guess you can say they're aging linebackers, maybe.
Mhm.
With what's his name, David, I think is still there. If he's still there,
Who
um,
the
Levante David.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean they're getting up there. Not that they're bad, but they're just aging, and that's part of the game and part of life. But
But I feel like the
yeah,
Saints
like
too, like the Saints are just the team that hasn't reset since Drew Brees and Sean Payton was there. And so it's like
Yeah,
they literally never have any money to do anything, and then they wonder like, oh, we missed the playoffs by a game, and it's like, well, if you didn't have guys on the roster where your average age was 36, I mean, you guys maybe would be a little bit more competitive.
yeah. I feel like the Saints are kind of still in that like fluctuation, but slowly getting to a stable spot. I mean, Carr looks a lot better than he did last year, like infinitely better. At least in the first 2 or 3 weeks.
But
You
he
know,
is hurt right now.
he is hurt, and I don't even know how Spencer Rattler did. Probably not great, but probably
Yeah,
kept Bennett.
I don't think he was
I mean, yeah,
that great. But
yeah, he threw
he
for 240, one touchdown, two picks.
yeah,
Not
but he
awful for a
played
debut.
no, but he played good enough where I'm like I kind of am like, all right, let's check again next week, and then I'll make my
Yeah,
decision. You know.
yeah. Let's see if he actually, I mean, granted, I didn't watch the game, so some of those picks might have been other people's fault. Like I didn't know. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, the Saints aren't a terrible team. I mean, their defense is good. What's his name? Not Will Smith. Jesus Christ, who's the end? Cameron Jordan.
Cameron,
I
how
mean,
did
Cameron.
you fucking get Will Smith out of that?
I think because Will Smith was a D end at one point in New Orleans, and
Fresh
I
Prince of
like
Bel Air?
flash. No, like he was a
I
defensive
know.
lineman. But I'm telling you that was like '06 calling, like
Yeah.
'06 Saints calling, and I was like, holy shit. But anyway,
God, you're old.
shut the fuck up, you cunt. I started noticing gray hairs. I honestly started noticing gray hairs in
I
my
went
hair.
to so my mom recently just got married, and we were at her wedding, and she was like, you have gray hair, and I was like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, I started growing out my hair a little bit, obviously because I'm in my rebellious teen
Mhm.
phase out of the Navy.
Yeah.
And I look in the mirror and like at first I thought it was just the glare from the light, and I looked and I'm like, oh man, I got some grays going in there.
Yeah.
Oh no, oh
Yep.
no.
Yep. I'm right there with you, dude, and I'm fucking
Yeah.
28 years old.
All those
So
old jokes don't seem so fucking bad now, does it?
no, I probably should kind of watch what I'm saying, but
Goddamn fucking right. You'll be at my age soon.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but other than that, I think the Saints are a decent team, but I think the Bucks are just kind of one of those like sneaky good teams that are just gonna probably maybe not get to the championship game, but they'll be knocking on the door for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Um Commanders Ravens, that was a pretty good game, but I knew it was over before it started. Um, did you see what
Yeah,
Derrick Henry rolled up to the game in?
no, no,
He wore jorts, a wife beater, and Tim's.
yeah,
So I was like, "Yep, he's going off. He's going off for 200 yards." And
yeah.
I think
Dude's
he went
going.
for like 130 and two touchdowns or something. I was like, "Yeah, you're when this man rolls up wearing that, it's like I would just be like looking at the
Yeah,
shit, on the sidelines, like the pregame stuff, and I was the head coach. I'd be like, "All right, boys, pack it up."
yeah. I
Derrick
was gonna
Henry's
say
Derrick Henry's violent today.
if he's strolling in his fucking thuggish fucking outfit, bro.
Yeah.
If I'm that linebacker on the Commanders, I'm just like, bro, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna throw my body in front of him, but this boy's gonna run
Yeah.
through me. I'm
Don't
telling you right
expect
now.
don't expect a lot, please.
If he gets 9 yards and I tackle him for a 2nd and 1, call that a win.
Yep.
That a win.
Yep. Um
And
but
finally, Daniels comes back to kind of like earth a little bit. You know,
kind of, I mean, he still had two
still,
touchdowns and no picks.
yeah, still had a good
He's
game, but
still
I
really
mean,
good. I think I what makes me happy and I'm gonna clear the air for the three people that listen to this. If you follow me on Twitter, I kind of like go back and forth with Commanders fans, and it's not like I'm hating on Jaden Daniels, but the thing is like when all this shit started, um, everybody was like, oh, the Bears fucked up and yada, and I'm so tired of hearing that shit that I'm like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Like, the Bears didn't fuck up the picks. We are perfectly fine. Like, the Bears are perfectly fine. And at the end of the day, can't both quarterbacks just be good?
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean,
that's
look what happened with what was it, Luck and Griffin?
yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
both of them had really good years in their
Yep.
first year, and look what happened with RG3. I mean, granted, his was injury related, and he never was the same. And Kyle
Yeah.
Shanahan really wanted him to be traded and wanted to go to Kirk
Which
Cousins.
is a crazy story that came out. I that if that's true, Shanahan is a lot smarter than people think. I mean, I know people think he's smart, but that's some next level shit because that is
Yeah,
insane to be like trade this dude.
yeah. Well, he said, yeah. To know your system so well that you can spot a quarterback who had a great year for you
Yeah.
and be like, yo, I'm going to tell
Mhm.
you right now, Kirk fits our system way better. I think you should probably look to get rid of this fucking guy, and
Uh,
you'll get a lot in return.
they would have
And
gotten
I
three first
guarantee,
round picks, honestly.
oh, well, yeah, the Jets. I mean, I think the Jets probably would have done something stupid and fucking went for him, and they probably would have gave him 2 first round picks and
Mhm.
fucking ruined. I mean, granted, I don't even know what their picks were that year, but probably wasn't anything good.
Yep.
That's typical Jets, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy that some coaches are just fucking savants. I mean, everyone shits on Kyle Shanahan for not being able to win the big one and making stupid choices, but I mean, that dude plugs and plays fucking anyone in that system, and it fucking works.
Yeah. Very
I
true.
mean, granted, he's got a lot of good players on the line, and he's got some skilled players here and there, but I mean, look at all the injuries they've had, and they still fucking roll. It's insane.
Yeah, it is. The Niners, Kyle Shanahan is just he is a guru. He is very, very, very
Smart dude.
good.
He is a smart dude.
Yeah. Um okay. So then we could talk about the good old Cardinals Packers. Jordan Love just looks amazing and the Cardinals are kind of ass. Don't
Yeah,
know if
I
there's
was
really more.
so heartbroken, so heartbroken at work to see the start of the game and Marvin Harrison Jr. out with a concussion or whatever the hell he had.
Mhm.
It's just like, come on, can I catch a break? But I did catch a break and fucking beat Austin, so it doesn't matter. Fuck you, Austin, if you're listening, if you're one of our 3 people.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, Cardinals, they got a lot of stuff they got to work on. I mean, they're locked in with Kyler Murray. I mean, they got Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mhm.
This guy screws up the defense. I mean, probably what their biggest, I would think their biggest flaw is right now because can't put it all on Kyler Murray when their team gives up 34 points.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
but what are you gonna
true.
do?
But also I think Kyler Murray like he maybe needs to you know, probably do a little bit more maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we don't see much that goes on behind the scenes, obviously, because we're normal people. But from stories that have leaked out and all this stuff, that he doesn't do tape, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. Yeah, it would definitely probably be his beneficial, or for his benefit, I should say, to kind of be a student of the game, and hopefully upgrade your team at least on the offensive end, and
Mhm.
you know, I don't know, get your team fucking rolling, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. Um okay. Colts Titans. This ev- I so I mean I really like Joe Flacco like a lot. He's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah,
But you know what kind of pisses me off is the the Browns he had him on their roster. He was a he was a Cleveland Brown,
yep,
and
and
they
literally got them to the playoffs.
yeah
Literally got them to the playoffs.
yep, and so it just drives me insane. I don't know
It's
it.
crazy that he's still playing at a decent level. I mean, he didn't put up stellar numbers. He didn't throw for 300 yards, but I mean, he got through 2 touchdowns a pick, and he won the game. I mean,
And that's guess what?
not too bad for a 39-year-old quarterback.
Nope, not bad at all. But um, yeah, it's just insane. It's just insane to me that they just let him go. Same with Baker Mayfield. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean Cleveland's not doing too well with the quarterback situation in the last 20, 30 years, but
Yeah, because let's talk about
I mean,
that next one. Eagles Browns. Um, I think there are more issues with. I think there are more issues with the Eagles than we think. Because how do you beat the Browns by 3 or 4 points or whatever it is?
did you see Sirianni
Yep.
yelling at
Yep.
yelling
Yep.
at his own fans
Mm-hmm.
because they were shit talking? I'm like, dude, what? You just won the game. Like, granted, it wasn't a great game and you beat the Browns, but why? First of all, why are the Eagles fans? I mean, I know the Eagles hate fucking
I
Sirianni.
if Nick Sirianni doesn't win a if he doesn't win them a playoff game, I think I think he's gone.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he's probably gonna have to do more in the eyes of the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't see how you can fire him after he wins you a playoff game. But if he doesn't like get to the Super Bowl again or win it, I think all Eagles fans are going to be calling for his head even more. I mean, they're already calling for his head, but
Yeah.
honestly, I would not be surprised if he gets the playoffs, either wins and loses the next round or loses in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets fired. Like I would not be surprised.
Yeah. No, I think so.
Yeah.
Um,
It, uh, Also,
what?
the Browns, man. At what point is enough enough?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the Browns are honestly praying for another sexual assault charge to come up, as fucked up as that is to say.
yeah.
I think they are just
I mean
like
that or a
praying
torn
so that
ACL, something.
well, no, so they because I don't even think injury gets them out of the contract. I literally think it's only like a like criminal charge can get them out of the contract. And so I
Yeah,
think
I
they're
mean,
they're
even despite it, man. I mean, just who cares if you're paying him at this point? Like your fans fucking hate him. Your team isn't
mm-hmm.
winning.
Yeah.
Just go to James Winston for the year and then figure out the finances, everything else later. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, your team is doing bad. Your team on paper is not bad, but you keep losing and only putting up 16 points.
Yep.
You got to figure something out, man. Change something.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. You have James Winston. That's the reason why you fucking signed him, and that's why you let Joe Flacco go. I don't know why, but
I I don't know why either. I don't know why they would have let Joe Flacco go, but
at least sign him to be the backup, not necessarily the
exactly
starter.
because
But
you now you brought in Jameis Winston, which I would rather have. I would probably rather have um Flacco. Is that kind of no? That's pretty accurate, right? Like I'd rather have Joe Flacco than Jameis Winston.
yeah, it's kind of it's so on the fence for me because Jameis is good because he's younger, a little bit more mobile, and obviously still has a cannon for an arm.
Yeah, but he's also
But Flacco
very
has
reckless.
that is also the problem is he's very reckless. Flacco, a little bit more seasoned, kind of smarter with the ball. So either one I could see. Maybe I would probably lean more towards Flacco just because of the last year what he did. So
Hmm.
coming off the couch to fucking sign with the Browns and fucking lead them to the playoffs.
Yeah,
I would probably I'd probably lean more towards Flacco just because of recent history. But I mean, if Jameis can just not turn the ball over, I think he'd be all right.
yeah. Texans Patriots. Um, Drake May wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect him to do anything too great. He made that one nice throw that I saw. I forgot who it went to, but the Patriots have
Yeah,
so many.
there's not really not much to say about that. The Patriots are ass, and the
Yeah, I
Texans
mean,
are probably gonna go deep in the playoffs. And once Nico Collins comes back, they're gonna be really good. So not much more to
yeah,
say.
Yeah, Patriots they got to do a whole bunch of draft stuff. I mean, I didn't expect them to be good. I would have liked to see their bridge quarterback at least last the full season,
Yeah.
and give Drake May some time to kind of not get hit and possibly hurt and shit. But
Yeah.
but eh, whatever. I'm a Jet fan, so whatever leads to the Patriots' demise, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Chargers Broncos. Um so it's funny cuz I was talking to a buddy who came over and watched some games this weekend, and Justin Herbert is like, you kind of forget about him, and you're like, is Justin Herbert kind of shitty? And then you watch him play football and you're like, no, he's pretty damn good. Um but I don't know like what that team needs, because like maybe they need wide receivers. I don't do they need offensive, like I don't know what that team needs, because I feel like they have all the pieces to be good aside from a big name wide receiver. They have the quarterback, their running backs are doing pretty damn good. They rushed for over 100 yards on the Broncos defense, which is a pretty damn good defense. Um, I just don't know what else. And they got Joe Alt. Their offensive line's pretty solid, I think. Their defense is good. They still have Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, even though they are aging. Their defense is pretty damn good. So I don't know what they need. Um,
I think it's just skill players, honestly.
yeah,
Like
maybe.
I think Dobbins is having a good year. Maybe a little bit depth on in running back, but I mean Quentin Johnston, has been a lot better than he was the previous year. Like he
Mhm.
looks a lot better, which is good. I mean, it's a brand new system, a run heavy system. I think it has to be your receiving, whether it's the tight end slash. I mean, because I'm looking at the stats right now. Their receiving leader was two receptions for 44 yards.
Yeah.
Like that's their fucking. And I don't even think it was their receiver. I think it was their tight end. But
Mhm.
I mean, it's got to be the skill players is what the Chargers are missing.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe getting younger in defense, and because of the aging guys, probably. But
Maybe try to trade Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa and get like a third or a fourth out of them or something.
yeah, or just next year's draft, just replenish those guys and get them going. But I think it's just the skill players, and I think it's just Herbert being able to win games. You know what I mean? Like being able to come from behind, lead drives, and get wins on his under his belt. But yeah, I don't think they're too far off. Honestly, I don't think they're too far off.
Yeah, I don't either. Um, Steelers Raiders. Um, yeah, you know what? We're just gonna blaze through these last ones because there's two I want to get to. Steelers Raiders 32-13. Justin Fields looked pretty damn good. It's the Raiders. They kind of fucking suck. Um,
Yeah,
Falcons Panthers. It's the fucking Panthers. Um, they're just a shitty franchise, and it's like the Andy Dalton just came back to earth thing. He passed 40 times for 200 yards and threw two picks and two touchdowns. Bengals Giants. Austin, the Bengals are kind of ass. You guys should have beat the brakes off of the Giants, but it was.
yeah. That should have been a fucking sack on the one that fucking what's his name got away from
Mhm.
right by the goal line. It was
Yeah.
like he just because he didn't want to get a penalty because of precious little Joe Burrow.
Yep.
Couple goal calls go away, or if that fumble at the end
Yep.
doesn't go out of bounds, maybe the Giants have a chance to come back. But
Which
yeah, I
would have
think the
been
Bengals
crazy,
Bengals
honestly. They
limped
did.
home with a win on that
Yeah.
one. Oh boy,
Yeah.
that should have
Um.
been a blowout.
It should have. Um. And then, okay, the two I want to talk about: Lions Cowboys.
Oh boy,
Oh boy, Jesse, this is for you, buddy. That was a good old fashioned ass whooping. That was an ass whooping.
EP slap to the
Yeah,
face.
yeah, that was not even a game. When you have offensive linemen lining up as wide receivers, that is a slap to the face. And they
When you
did.
have the right tackle almost score well, should have scored a touchdown if it wasn't for a dumbass penalty that brought it back.
Mhm.
And he doesn't score, and he's coming back to the huddle, giggling and laughing
Yep.
on your so-called all-star defense. That
Mhm.
obviously I know what's his name is hurt, sure, whatever. But dude, that was embarrassing to be a Cowboys
That
fan
was
yesterday.
that was so
Embarrassing.
embarrassing. And I talked to Jesse a little bit, and he is a very sad boy right now. Um,
As he should be.
yeah, he just knows that the season's pretty much over. And there's really nothing that he can do about it because he's a fan, and Jerry Jones is running that team into the ground, in my opinion. But
Yep.
yeah, the Lions did not play with their food. They went out there and handled business, and it was comical. The first play of the game, what was his name? Decker, I think. The guy who was
Uh,
ineligible the game.
yeah, Decker, I
Taylor
believe.
Decker. Yeah, he went up and marked himself as eligible. It was fucking hilarious. Um, yeah, that was an ass beating. That was a fucking
Yeah,
ass beating. Um,
yeah. That was awful, and the Cowboys are not going to get any better with a quarter of your you know budget going to two offensive players that don't do shit in games like this.
mhm. And
Yeah,
that's what I
it's
told Jesse is it's like what do you guys even do from here? Because like you're paying Dak 60. It's not like you can like, oh, who wants Dak? We're trying to sell. No one wants that contract. You could probably move CeeDee Lamb because it's CeeDee Lamb and he's on the Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase level. There would be teams who would probably give you 2 first-round picks for him, like probably Kansas City, which would make them okay. Yep, they're back to being Super Bowl favorites because you have a guy who's always open and a guy who could get him the ball. Which then also helps out Travis Kelsey and everything else. But other than that, like you said, you're paying two guys $90 million between them this year. You can't pay
yeah,
nobody else. And then
yeah, and
you
especially
still have to pay
especially
Micah Parsons next year.
oh he's gonna have to walk. They ain't paying
I,
him.
I, I agree. People call me crazy for that take, and I'm glad we agree on something. I don't think Micah Parsons is a Cowboy next year. I really
No,
don't.
I think he walks.
Yep. Because
And if
I
he if
think
he if he does sign, the rest of the team is going to be like seventh round pick starters
yep.
that are
Because
just cheap, and the
because
Cowboys are going to be
well, and Micah Parsons too, he's made it very clear that he wants to win. So he is like the guy who is voicing his opinions, and the ownership doesn't like that. That was a whole thing over the summer, and this year's no different. And so, you know, I just think he walks. And you can't when you're paying two guys on your team $90 million, two guys. You can't go out there and score 9 points against one of the worst defenses in the NFC. They're not terrible, but they're also not good. The Lions defense is not
and
good. And Aiden Hutchinson just went out.
exactly, and they lost their that was exactly the point I was going to make, and their best pass rusher, who is probably on pace to be defensive player of the year,
Yeah.
you would think,
Yep.
but he breaks his fucking leg, and you guys still can't do anything.
Yep. I
Like
as a Bears fan, I will say my heart does go out for Lions fans because that was gruesome, and losing
that
a
was
player like that when you guys still handled business, but you know, you're gonna need a Aiden Hutchinson, especially once they start playing the NFC North games. Because as we cap off this recap, we'll talk about the Jets and Bills. The NFC North is a very tough division, and we're all about to start playing each other the back half of the season, and he is going to be needed. So not having Aiden Hutchinson on the field is really going to suck for the Lions, who already had a pretty struggling defense.
yep. Yeah, watching that injury from
Yeah,
Hutchinson
dude, that
just
was.
reminded me of those UFC
Yep,
ones, like with Chris Weidman and
yep.
Silva,
Mm-hmm.
and just seeing the leg wrap and people land on. Oh yeah, it just gave me. Ooh yeah, yeah. But I mean, they're gonna need him. Obviously next man up. Dan Campbell's good coach, good motivator. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully he gets his troops all on board because yeah, like you said, the NFC North has become what was the AFC North.
Yep. It is a
With probably
gauntlet.
toughest division. It is going to be a fucking gauntlet this year, and every one of these division games matters. So if you split 3-3 against your division, you might be good enough to make the playoffs. So
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta win these games, and
Yep.
division ones are going to be the ones that are probably going to come back and bite you in the ass,
Yep.
especially to win the division and get a home game.
Yeah.
That's going to be the difference.
No, for sure. It is. Um, okay. Last one, and we've been alluding to this all night. Bills Jets. Um,
Oh boy.
so who who's your kicker?
Zerline, Greg the Leg. Greg the Leg.
Hmm. His longest of the night was 34 yards.
Missed a 32, I think,
A 43
and a 43.
or a 47, one of the two.
Yeah, it was a 40 yarder and a 30 yarder, I think, was the two he
Zerline
missed.
lost you guys that game.
Yeah, I think it was a cumulative effect to why we lost. I mean, yes, if you look at the immediate things, if he hits those field goals, you're tied, possibly even winning, and
Well,
maybe
if
they
he
don't.
hits both of them, you guys win the game 26-23.
Yeah, if you're looking at like the immediate effect on the scoreboard, yes, you could say Greg Zuerlein lost us the game. And the wind was pretty nasty. I don't know if you saw some of those
It
field
was
goals
swirly.
that
It was
did go
swirly.
in.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
swirly.
it's rough. It's not easy to be a kicker in general, and he's
Mhm.
usually been pretty damn good for the most part.
Yeah.
But it sucks that the weather played as much of a thing, and yeah, he's probably the immediate cause of why we lost. And but the moral of the story is you cannot win a game when you continually move the ball past the first down and then get them called back because of stupid ass penalties that are just drive killers. I mean, the Jets are one of the most undisciplined teams on both sides of the ball, and they just come up with dumbass penalties that just either extend their drives or ruin ours. You're
Mhm.
not going to be able to win games like that. You could be in games. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has
I
shown
think the
he
refs
can.
were trying to keep the Jets in that game. Just that's
Oh
me.
yeah, some of the calls were
That roughing the
terrible.
passer call in the fourth quarter was absolutely fucking awful. Absolutely awful. And here's my I'm going to go on a rant for a second.
Wait,
It
which one are you
is
talking about?
the one who was it for the fucking
Like
um
on Aaron Rodgers or on Josh Allen?
no, on Aaron Rodgers. Oh, AJ Espena.
Oh, when he got hit from behind.
Yep. Okay,
What are you talking about?
this is football, okay? A majority of America grew up playing football. A lot of us didn't go to college or fucking NFL to play football, right? But at the end of the day, football is football. You're going to get hit. What do you want the defender to do to defy physics to stop to not land too hard on the quarterback? That was a bullshit call, and at the end of the day, this is why I said you guys kind of got bailed out and they want to keep you in the game. Because the game shouldn't have been that close. You guys were 25% in the red zone, 1 for 4. Your guys' red zone touchdown or drive to touchdown percentage is fucking awful.
Agreed.
That call, if that call wasn't made, the game would have been over because it would have been fourth down in like I don't know 20 because you guys had a penalty the fucking play before, and the game would have been over. And so like I don't understand. I hate these roughing the passer calls because like what do you want edge rushers and defensive players to do? What do you want them to do? Like if he
I
doesn't
agree.
bring Aaron Rodgers down, he gets the throw off. Like
Yes, I agree that like you know it's impossible because look what happened in the Bengals game and the Giants game I mentioned before. The guy didn't want to get a roughing the passer on a third down to extend their drive because they
Mm-hmm.
were backed up in their own end zone and it was a longer third down. So he stopped and Burrow got out of it and then he threw it away. Obviously there was a completion, so it worked out. But what if that dude just broke out and threw like a fucking 30-yard bomb? It's
Yeah.
like what do you expect these guys to do? And I get it. The quarterbacks make you money. And I get it. The quarterbacks are the most important person on the field. I understand all of that. But at some point, you gotta be realistic about it. And
Mm-hmm.
and this is a Jet fan saying this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it should have been called. I was kind
No.
of like, oh, well,
Well,
I
did
guess
you
it
hear
was.
what Aaron Rodgers said? You hear what Aaron Rodgers said after the fact?
What do you say?
He said it seemed a little ridiculous. Some of them seem really bad on the roughing the passer call.
Like they were justified or they were
No, they were
ridiculous
they were
calling.
ridiculous, like for calling them.
Oh well, I mean, even the one that the Jets got, I can kind of see it because he made that little extra move to throw him into the ground. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get that one because that could be a concussion that could get him out of the game, and that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Plus, it was Kinlaw, who's a fucking idiot and just gets penalties like an asshole. But I get it. It makes sense to me that you want to protect the quarterbacks, but there has to be some better way. Like that
Yes.
should have
Yeah.
been that right there. Probably should have been the moment where they went up to the booth and they did the assisted replay or whatever the fuck they call it and
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what, I don't think that actually was.
Yeah. And it's like they went to the booth for the fumble that wasn't a fumble.
Yeah,
That
the
ball
tuck
was
that wasn't
vertical.
a tuck.
That I hate to say it, dude. That ball was vertical.
It was very it was
That should
very
have been a
close.
tuck. And at the end of the day, they bailed themselves out by reviewing it in the booth and sticking with their guns on it, which you have to in those kind of calls, right? It's like being an MLB
Yeah.
umpire in the freaking World Series. You got to stick with your calls.
Yep.
But also it was a bad call. I think that was a fumble.
I yeah. So I think by the letter of the law they got it because the way they did explain it was that is because he got hit and that's what drove his arm downward. That
Mhm.
is what caused it to look like a fumble.
Yeah.
Now, yes, I agree that he did absolutely have control of it as he went down and it was vertical. I 100% get it. But I think it was just that little bit of hit and like that little bit that made it go a little bit more vertical than it was probably going to.
Mhm.
You know, like I said, when it didn't matter because the Jets fucking lost anyway. But yeah, it was kind of one of those things that, let the booth figure it out and whatever the booth calls, you know, maybe initially like that bullshit that's incomplete or but eh, it's just a little bit too much to handle right now with these fucking Jets, dude.
Well, just to add insult to injury before we move on to our previews, um, New York, New Jersey area sports fans almost went perfect today. Yankees W, Mets W, Rangers W, Islanders W, Devils W, Jets L.
Yeah,
Always could count on
same
the
old
Jets to,
Jets.
yep, always could count on the Jets to let you down.
The
Uh,
fucking way of life. Same old Jets. If ever I ever have a child in this fucked up world, if I ever get married and have a child,
mhm.
when he gets old enough or she gets old enough, I'm gonna tell him like, listen, you have a path right now. This is your breaking point. You either stick with the Jets and you become the most miserable fucking fan of all time, or you pick another team and you stick with them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if you go with the Jets, there's no going back.
Mhm.
There's absolutely no going back. And you will be miserable and you will hate your life. So make your choice now.
Yeah, that's
But
fair. Um,
most ridiculous fucking team of all time.
no, it is. You guys suck. Um,
Yep.
and it does kind of suck too, cause like there are teams that I root for that I'm like, they're like the Jets. I want to see the Jets win a Super Bowl because I'm one of those guys who like, oh, the Jets, the Bengals, the Bills, the Dolphins. I want to see those teams win Super Bowls because they've never won one, right?
The Jets have won one.
But we were not even a thought. So
I think my dad was like 15.
yeah. Um, but you know what I'm saying, like the teams that haven't won
No, I
one,
got you.
and so. But anyways,
Yeah, nobody wants to see the Patriots win every year. No one wants
no,
to see the
no one wants to see
Chiefs
the
win every
Chiefs win
year.
every year. No one wants to see the the Patriots win again.
You like to see
So
a little variety.
yes,
Obviously you don't want a full on communist system where everybody wins, but
yes, exactly.
you want a little bit of variety. It's kind of like a baseball thing. Like it's very hard to repeat in baseball,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, football apparently is a little bit easier to repeat.
Apparently. Um,
Yeah.
so we are going to get into our preview. Starting with the Saints Broncos.
Oh, that's Thursday night, right?
Yep, that is Thursday night.
Man,
Actually,
every
sorry.
time I
Nope, before we start, sorry. We have a close race. Right now, it is 31 to 39 or 30, sorry, 31 to 30. You're still up a game. You kind of fell you kind of fell behind this week. I gained 3 games on you this week.
Yeah, I took two chances this week that I shouldn't have fucking took with
Yep,
the Raiders.
and the
I was looking
Giants.
at that. Granted, when I send you that list, I was getting ready for work, and I was like looking at it. I was like the Raiders. I'm like something's. I feel like this is like one of the games the Raiders will do good, and I don't remember the other fucking game I lost. The
The Giants and
but
Bengals.
yeah, Giants. They were playing pretty well, and I'm not sold on the fucking Bengals. So I was like,
No,
this
that
might
that
be a
was a
game.
you. Oh, I almost did the same thing. I was like,
Yeah,
I saw you pick it, and then I was like, like I don't know. I don't know if I want to choose the
you were
Bengals and
smart.
then go down to. And
Yeah,
so
you
I
were
was,
smart, dude.
yeah. But hey, shout out to Austin. Your team kind of sucks. So,
Welcome
um,
to the misery of the Jets, Austin.
yep. So
But Broncos Saints.
let's Broncos Saints.
I'm gonna go with the Saints on this one.
Really?
Every time I fucking pick the Saints, they let me down. It's only a matter of time before they fucking. I don't. The Broncos got a good defense. I understand that, but for some reason, like I don't know how they're winning these games with like such a bad offense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I feel like the Saints got to snap out of it at some point, right? Whether that's with Rattler, with whoever,
Mhm.
they got to snap out of it at some point. So I think the Saints will win this one.
Okay. I So this is okay, hold on. Before I make my Patrick Surtain, is Patrick Surtain brain Broncos confirmed brain injury for Patrick Surtain?
Brain injury?
Like a really bad concussion? Broncos confirmed brain injury for Patrick Surtain the second. Okay, I'm gonna choose the Saints because if Patrick Surtain's out, I think Spencer Rattler and if Derek Carr comes back, that team's pretty explosive. So I will tail you and choose the Saints. Patriots
Excellent.
Jaguars. So we'll just start flip flopping. Um, that way we don't have to. So that way it's not like I'm tailing you and people are like, oh, you're a freaking you're a boomer merchant. You can't fucking choose your own team. Um,
Yeah.
I will go ahead and choose. God, this is a fucking stinker. I'm gonna
Mhm.
choose the Patriots, and I think it's because Drake May is gonna rally this team. And he's already played way better than Jacoby Brissett. And the Jaguars defense, the Jaguars team is fucking awful. Like I think they are so down in the dumps. They've given up. Like, um, who's their fucking head coach? Um,
Peterson.
yeah, Doug Peterson. He's gone. I think he's gone. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna choose the Patriots.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the Jaguars on this one. I
Interesting.
think I don't know why. I feel like every time the Jaguars are in London, they play better.
Dude, they
I
just
don't know if
they
that's just
just
me.
got their asses beat.
Well, I'm obviously last week was. I'm talking about like previous games. I
Okay.
feel like they that's like a home game for them. Like they might as well just
Yeah,
be the
no, it
London
is. Yeah.
Jaguars.
No, it is. It's a home
Oh
game.
no, I know it's technically a home game, but I mean like playing in London is like playing in Jacksonville for them for some fucking
Oh,
reason.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like they may not win games, but I feel like they somehow play somewhat better. And plus, I think they stayed in. I'm pretty sure they're staying in London, so that's another advantage.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go with the Jaguars. I think fucking Trevor Lawrence against Drake May. I feel like on paper the Jaguars should win, so I'm gonna go with the Jaguar.
Yeah. Okay. Then you're going to have to choose the Lions or Vikings.
This is a fucking good game. Now
Yeah.
this should be America's game of the week, not anything related to the fucking Cowboys.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go with. I know I've said it the last like 2 or 3 weeks that the Vikings are due. So I'm gonna say the Lions on this one. I think finally they get their first loss. Coming off a bye, they might be a little rusty, and the Lions are hot right now. So going with the Lions.
I am going with the Vikings. I'm going with the Vikings. They're coming off their bye. They're rested up. The Lions, I know, didn't play a terribly tough game against the Cowboys, but the Vikings are cooking, and I think Justin Jefferson is going to feast on that secondary. Jordan Addison also is back. I got the Vikings. Okay, Titans Bengals. I think the Titans win this.
Titans, Bengals, Titans, Bills.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Titans Bills. Never mind. I got the Bills.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like homeboy. It's like really, Josh. I only go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the Bills too, but yeah, I don't see how the Titans could possibly win this game unless the Bills just shit the bed.
Yeah. Nope, I got the Bills. I was looking at the Browns Bengals, which is the next pick. Browns Bengals is your go.
Yep. I know Austin's probably going to be creaming in his pants here in this, but I'm going to go with the Bengals because the
My se-
Browns,
yeah, me
the
too.
Browns are an absolute
Did you
fucking
hear that
shit
the
show
Browns
right
are
now.
apparently trying to shop Amari Cooper?
Good, get as much draft capital as you can, so that when fucking Watson goes, you can have a decent team
Yeah,
before you lose everybody.
yeah. Dolphins Colts.
Dolphins,
I am
Colts.
going to
Fuck you,
go
let's
with
see.
the Colts.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. You got to go the Colts
Yeah, I think Joe Flacco is
because
playing really good football. Um,
yep, he's doing enough. He's doing enough to win, and the Dolphins still don't have a quarterback. I mean, I
yep.
don't know when Tua is
Isn't the
gonna
guy's
come
name
back. If he,
Snoop Huntley? Is that his name?
Is it Tyler?
No, I think he changed his name.
Oh,
To-
speaking of weird names, is that dude on the Browns like Little John Thompson? I swear to God, there's a guy on the Browns, and his first name is Lil Lill, and it's John
Little Jordan Humphrey.
Jordan Humphrey. Excuse me, not
That
John.
is
It's Little Jordan.
what a fucking reach. How did you know that?
I was watching the Browns game one time,
He's a
and it was like,
Broncos.
oh, those.
He's a Broncos wide receiver.
Oh, Bronco. Sorry, it was a
That is
Bronco, not a
fucking
Brown.
hilarious. How did you know who
Yeah,
that guy was?
I was watching the game and it was like, oh, and like the announcer actually said his name.
Lil Jordan
Like no
Humphrey.
shit. Yeah, I was like, oh, and that catch for 10 yards
So
by little
do they
Jordan
just
Humphrey.
did he just grow up being called like LJ or something?
I don't know. I have no idea who
That
this
is
guy is,
fucking
but
hilarious.
yeah. Sorry.
What
Yeah,
are
we
his
got a little.
stats?
I don't think they're that bad, honestly, because
Eight
every time I've
receiving
watched
yards,
them,
one reception. This game, okay, hold on. 20 career, 44 receptions, 65 targets, 600. That's pretty good actually.
yeah,
620
it's not
yards,
bad.
14 yards averaging, six touch. Dude, this guy's actually not fucking bad. For only
Yeah,
being targeted 65 times, he's for 65 targets at six touchdowns, he scores 10% of the time.
yeah.
Huh.
Lil Jordan.
Lil Jordan Humphrey. Okay.
Yeah, but Flacco's taking down Snoop Doggy Dog Huntley
Lil. Yep.
or whatever his name is.
Yep. Yep. You got the Dude, this is that's good. That's really good. Joe Flacco versus Snoop. Okay. Seahawks Falcons. I it's your go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons at home.
Yes, me
I think
too.
the Seahawks with Geno Smith just isn't what it was, and
Yep.
I think the Falcons are finally rolling. Go with the
Mhm.
Falcons.
Okay. Texans Packers. What a fucking game. I don't know who to choose, and I'm honestly I don't fucking know. Um, I'm gonna. I don't know. I don't know. Man, this is fucking hard. Cause the Texans don't have Nico Collins and Jordan. Like I think if they had Nico Collins like that, I would be a big enough edge for me to be like, yeah, pretty like Texans, cause they just have too many weapons. Um, but the Packers are looking really, really good, and Jordan Love seems to be way more comfortable. Um, man, I am going to. I'm gonna choose the Packers, I guess. I don't. I hate choosing the Packers, but I think that's just the smartest play. The Packers are playing really good right now.
Damn, dude, I was gonna take the Packers home. 2.5 point favorites.
Are they?
I was gonna go. They're 2.5 point favorites according to ESPN right now.
Yep, minus
So
2.5. Yeah.
I was gonna go the Packers, but I think this will be the game that separates us. So I'm gonna go with the Texans to spice it up a bit.
Yeah, because we pretty much the only other outlier was the Lions and Vikings. Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna spice it up. I'm going with the Texans, even though if you would have said Texans, I was gonna go Packers, honestly.
Okay.
And yeah.
Eagles Giants.
Oof. Eagles Giants. Oh, it's you.
No, it's you. I chose Packers.
Oh yeah, you're right. Uh, Eagles Giants. Oof. I'm gonna go with.
This should
Uh
be a no-brainer, dude.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the
And
Eagles.
you
I
know
mean,
you
there's
know what the no-brainer for me is when I looked at this game? Saquon
what?
Barkley revenge game.
That is a good point, and it's in Jersey
And
too.
it's in
So
Jersey. Like
yeah, yeah,
um yeah.
yeah. I mean, definitely Eagles, especially the way that they played last night. If the Giants would have kept rolling last night and beat the Bengals, maybe I would have said it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one.
Yeah. Panthers Commanders.
That's
What?
you, bud. That's you.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
picked the Eagles.
Well, this is okay. This is a no-brainer
That's
too.
why I was laughing. I was like, this is so blatantly fucking obvious.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Commanders for sure.
yeah, I was saying, I was like, definitely got to go
Rams
Commanders on this one.
Rams Raiders. I got
Oh,
Okay,
fucking
I'm gonna use
toilet bowl.
yeah, this is a toilet bowl, but I think go for it, but I think this is pretty fucking no-brain too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams just because they're home.
Yeah, and also they're fucking 5.5 point favorites right now.
Yep,
So,
yep. I saw that too. I was like,
um,
I don't know how you don't pick those guys, dude. Come on.
okay, this is gonna be hard, and this is another one that, of course, I get to choose. I get both hard games this week.
Yeah,
Niners
you do.
Chiefs. um, fucking Niners are 1.5 point favorites. Uh, I don't. I'm gonna go the Chiefs because the Niners don't. I don't think Mason's gonna come back, and I don't think CMC's coming back.
Yeah, yeah. I think just too many injuries on the Niners fronts
Yeah,
for this game. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs too. I if they were 100% healthy and even without CMC and like had all the other weapons and stuff, I probably would have leaned towards the Niners because I think the
yeah,
Chiefs are due for one. But I don't unless like by some miracle somebody goes off and the
And
Chiefs can't handle it.
and the only thing is too is this is kind of like a revenge game. So I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Chiefs, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay. We got the Steelers and Jets. This is a good one for you. This is the Boomy and Ham game of the week. Pick'em game of the week.
Oh
Just because
God, I don't even know.
one of our teams are involved in it.
I don't know how the hell the Jets are a -1 favorite against this fucking team right now. And to be honest, I don't know how they're gonna handle not getting penalties on fucking TJ Watt if he play. Hopefully, he doesn't get hurt and he plays.
He is playing. He's
So
not hurt.
no, I know. I'm saying like don't like a last minute like oh he scratched because of
Yeah.
he tore something or something like that.
Hmm.
But uh, God, do I be smart or do I be? Uh,
Come on, you coward.
I'm doing it. I'm gonna go with the Jets.
Yep, there you go. I'm
I'm
going
going with the
Steelers.
fucking Jets. Yep.
Listen, I roll with my team every week. I think that's
Yep.
a
I
you know what?
That's what.
How
That's
about
why I
this?
was like,
That's a
do I go
rule.
with my heart or
Yeah.
do
No,
I go with the common sense?
we can have a gentleman's agreement now. Going forward, we will have to choose our teams.
Oh yeah, I was gonna probably choose them anyway, but just like
Okay.
after tonight, I'm just like, how do I
Um,
justify picking this team?
actually, this is another fucking good one. Ravens Buccaneers.
Yeah, I was looking at this one. I was definitely looking at this one, and part of me thinks it's a no-brainer, but the other half is like,
Yeah,
dude,
because
you might want to
what
think
Baker
about it.
Mayfield's gonna show up, you know?
Yep.
So I'm gonna choose the Ravens, but I'm very hesitant on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was kind of hoping you were gonna go to the Bucks because I wanted to go Ravens, so. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think they're just rolling right now. I think they finally figured out their mojo. I think Henry's running the ball
So
great,
you know what I
and I
think
don't
we're
think
gonna do? I think what we need to do so that way we're not influencing each other going forward is I'm gonna do a pick, like I'm gonna make a pick lobby for you and me.
hmm
Um, and we will do our picks in there, and then when we do the podcast, then I'll just go over them, and then we can kind of debate the picks, and maybe it just makes for a little bit, better podcasting. And then also
I mean, either way,
it's not like, even if we both pick the same thing for the week, it's like, okay, yeah, we agree, and it may not be different, but if you're up by two, then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to choose the same as you, and can maybe make a last minute change or whatever, but
yeah,
I think that'd be fun. And then also we could get the guys in it, maybe I don't know, toss a few bucks at it every week or something. So,
yeah, that makes
um,
sense.
all right, and then last game of the week, Chargers Cardinals. Son,
Yeah,
I don't know. What
um,
Kyler Murray's showing up? Like, is it the Kyler Murray that beat the Niners? Like, if that guy shows up, I'm fucking choosing the Cardinals all day.
yeah. Is Marvin Harrison gonna
Is
play?
Marvin
I
Harrison
mean,
playing? Like, I don't know. I guess it's your pick, so
I'm going the Chargers.
yeah,
I
I am
think either
too.
way, I was still gonna go. Either
Yeah.
way, I was gonna go the Chargers, but the fact that Marvin Harrison's a question mark, even a slight question mark.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
and
definitely.
I also am like really betting against the Arizona Cardinals this year because sorry, I'm betting against the Cardinals because the Bears play the Cardinals the game I'm going to, and it
Yeah.
would be really cool to see the Bears win an NFL game in person. So I'm kind of hoping the Cardinals just lose out at that point, and then like the Bears are really favorited, and the Cardinals maybe get rid of some guys because they're just trying to build up with their two key pieces on offense, and that'd be pretty sick. So, um, but yeah, there you have it. Those are the picks of the week for us, and like I said, right now you are at 31 and I am at 30 points. And I basically only we've been doing this for 3 weeks. I basically only count correct guesses if we whoever doesn't get it doesn't get a point. So since 3 weeks, you have about what would that be, a 66 pick rate? Pretty good.
Yeah, not too
But
shabby.
I am gonna start tracking it week to week. So I'll do week 7. I built a spreadsheet as we were talking, and so I will just continue to do this every week, and then we could look back on our 2024 season and see how our picks were, and then we could kind of be like, wow, that was a really fucking stupid pick.
Yep.
Alrighty, dude. Well, that was a good episode. We're off to the races. The Bears look great. The Jets are gonna jet, and we will talk to everybody next week.